this look, we're going to start with this shade from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Artist Palette in the shade Punch Fuchsia. I'm just using a large fluffy brush to blend this into the crease. This is going to be our transition shade for the look. This is real time. Usually I speed it up, but I really wanted to show you how important it was to blend for this look. That is, I think, what makes it the most seamless. Next, I'm going in with another shade from the palette, and this is in a Unicorn. And we're just using a little bit smaller of a domed brush and just placing this a little bit lower than we did with the transition shade. Just going from the inner to outer corner, blending it in, and really just buffing that into the crease area. We don't want it to go as high as it did with the first shade, but just keeping that a little bit lower, a little bit darker of a shade. And then we'll go and continue on with the other eye. To deepen up the crease even more, we're going in with another shade from the palette in the shade Coal. It's just a matte black eyeshadow. And we're using a smaller detail brush to really place that color just in the crease. See, I'm going a little bit lower than the first two shades that I put in there, again, just to deepen it up. Just using the same technique from the inner to outer corner and just deepen it up until you get the desired amount of pigment that you'd like. Once I'm done placing the shades, I'm actually going to go in with a large fluffy brush that has no product on it and really just blend all of three of those colors together just to make it look a little bit more seamless. Also, you don't have to worry about being too perfect with the blending as far as where it goes on the lid, because we are going to be cutting the crease in just a minute, so just trying your best to focus on the blending of these shades, and then we'll focus on the cutting of the crease. I typically like to cut the crease with a concealer, so I decided to use today the Tarte Shape Tape, but you can use whatever concealer that you have. It also helps to really set a base for the next color and make it even more vibrant. Not that it needs to be. This is Shark Bait from Makeup Geek. It is a beautiful turquoise shade, and I really think it's the star of the show here. So I'm just using a flat shader brush just to pack it on the lid. It's really important to pack it really to get that depth. This is a really important shade, and you want to make sure that every area of that lid is covered in this color. Because you are doing so much blending, you are going to lose some color, so I'm going back here to deepen up the crease even more, just because I want it to really consistently stay deep. Again, I'm using that coal color from the palette and really deepening up the crease area. Once I'm finished, I'm going to go back in with the larger brush and blend it all out again, and then continue this process of adding color, blending out, adding color, blending out until you get the desired look that you are wanting to achieve. Next, I'm using this Essence waterproof eyeliner pen, and I'm going to create quite a large wing. I wanted the wing to be big, I wanted it to be really matte black, and I want it to be sharp. So that's why I chose to use a pencil or a pen, but feel free to use gel liner or whatever you're most comfortable with. Just make that wing as big as possible, because again, I think it looks really gorgeous with this look.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be there. Never leaving you in the darkness.
Next, you want to pop on some lashes. I'm using the Huda Beauty lashes in Samantha number 7. I'll give you a sneak peek here of what they look like. Beautiful. I love these lashes so much. Next, going in with the Paradise paint from Mehron. This is a water activated paint, so all you do is add water to it and it creates this beautiful creamy consistency. Just using a small detail brush, I'm going to start filling in the jawline of where these teeth are going to go. I really like to blend it inwards, as you can see, and water paints are kind of hard in the fact that they actually dry pretty quickly. So I like to go in and place everything down, and then I'll show you a technique in just a moment where you can really blend it out even more, even once it's dried. So I just actually used a reference picture here, but feel free to, create your own skull or own mouth or whatever you want to do for this look. I wanted it to be very simple. I didn't want it to be too complex. The gems really are the star of the show here, so it really wasn't about how detailed the mouth was. So back to the trick of what you can do once it dries. I actually take a blending brush with just a little bit of water on it and no product, and it kind of re-water downs the makeup, and you can see it blends a lot easier once it's dried. That just makes for it to be easier to work with, and you don't have to blend it out right away. I just really like the effect that this gives. Next, I'm taking a brush. This is pretty much just a foundation brush, and I'm bringing that black shade all down my neck. I didn't want this to be precise like a collar or anything like that, not a choker. I really just wanted it to be blended down and kind of just be abstract. So you don't have to be neat with this. You'll actually see we do some other fun stuff in just a second. So just place the color down and then we'll move on from there. It's okay if it's not super blended. You're going to be going back in later and adding some more layers, and that will really help it to look all put together. Next is a pretty fun technique. This is just to create some drips. So all you do is add extra water to the Paradise paint. Usually that just makes it super liquidy, but I really wanted to make them kind of drip. So all you do is just add a lot of water, let it drip down your neck, and it creates this cool dripping effect, which I thought was pretty fun. You can use as many colors as you like. I was going to do a silver as well, but I chose just to do the black because I'm going to be adding some sparkles and glitter as well. Quickly going back to the eyes, I'm using the same shades that we used on the eyelid, and we're going to be just placing this just in the lower lash line and blending it all together. Nothing too crazy, just adding those 3 shades. So once you are done blending the lower lash line, you're going to go in with this Inglot Gel Liner. This is just a black gel liner, and you're going to fill in your brows as you normally would do. I really wanted the brows to be darker than my normal shade just because I felt like it looked a lot more cohesive with the overall look.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be there.
This next step is optional. I just chose to do this to map out where the gem teeth were going to go. So I'm just placing just a little bit, just a very light layer of the white, just so I knew exactly where to put the gemstones. I will say the gemstones are a little bit difficult to adhese when it's not a clean surface, so you don't have to do that option. Going back in with that shade from Makeup Geek, this is in Shark Bait, I'm going to go ahead and just fill in the areas around the teeth, and I think this is essentially why I did map out where the teeth are going to go, just so I had an idea of where to place the turquoise. Next is the fun part, the glow. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit. Look at that shade. This is the white one. I think it's called Forever Lit from the palette. Ooh, girl. That is such a beautiful shade. I kind of went back and forth between this palette and the Aurora palette that you'll see in a second, and just really highlighted that negative space above the actual skull. You're just going to place this in the high points, and then also going in with like the blue shade, the purple shade, all these fun shades. Just kind of putting them all on your forehead, on your cheeks, just to give it this overall cohesive look. You can also put it down your arms and on your chest as well. Then using these glitters, these are from Lemonhead LA. They're super fun shades. This is Birthday Cake, and then I also used Crystal Tokyo as well. I kind of went back and forth between the two, but I started off using that Birthday Cake underneath the eyes. I just took a Q-tip and just placed this in a triangle formation. I just thought it was fun. It kind of looked like glitter tears, and I really loved this product. It is actually, I think, for your hair or your body, but you know, I thought it was cool and cohesive with the look. Cohesive, I've used that word like 10 times so far, but I just wanted it all to come together and look awesome. Next, we're going in with an adhesive. This is Prozade, but you can use a latex or spirit gum to actually adhere the gems to your face and body. With the Prozade, once it turns clear, that's when you know it's time to put on the gems. So that's what you'll see me doing here, is placing these above my eyes. I would definitely recommend planning out your designs ahead of time. That made it super easy and quick for me to do, as opposed to just grabbing a bunch of gems and figuring out which ones I wanted to put on. So definitely plan this out ahead of time if you can. Going back in with those glitters that we used earlier under the eyes, I'm just using a large fluffy brush just to place a ton of glitter all over the neck. There's no pattern to this, you guys. This is just pretty much putting glitter all over the place. I did some designs on my chest and my shoulders. I didn't really want to show it because it was so tedious and it took a while, but again, plan these out ahead of time. It'll be much easier for you to do. And then once you're done with the body, you're going to move to the face, and this is the most important part. Of course, these are the teeth. This is the foundation of the skull. And then going in just with a little bit of that cool eyeshadow on the temples, just to create a little bit more dimension in the face. I didn't do anything too high on the forehead because I am going to be wearing a wig, so you won't even see it. And I'm just outlining it with some black Paradise paint. Since the hair that I'm going to be wearing is turquoise, I wanted to bring a little bit more turquoise to the look, so I started adding some more in the details of the mouth. I'm just going in between all of the gems. We'll be going in and deepening it up a little bit more later with black, but I wanted to bring that shade a little bit more in the mouth so it just kind of all came together. Once you're finished with the turquoise, you'll then go in with the black shade and just deepen up just the corners of the mouth, again, just to give it some more dimension. Since for shading, we also have to add some highlights. I'm just using the highlighter from earlier, just around the sides of the mouth and on the bottom of the teeth, just to give it a little bit more pop. Normally I would highlight with Clown White from Mehron, but I really chose to just use those different colored highlighters all on my mouth and also on the sides of my cheek, because I really didn't want it to be too stark white, but you can use that if you wanted to. Then lastly, I'm just going to add some more depth to the inner corners of my mouth by just adding that black Mehron Paradise paint just to the insides of my lips. And that's the finished look, you guys. I hope that you love it. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.